It is the last day of August on your Wednesday, August 31st, and we got extreme heat across the western United States, extreme rainfall potential across Texas and the Gulf Coast, and your full tropical weather update in this video. Good Wednesday morning, August 31st, everybody. Welcome back here to another weather forecast here discussion this morning. Welcome back again. A lot of colors showing up across the western United States. You got some reds, some pinks, and some oranges. These are all heat alerts for heat advisories, excessive heat watches, and even excessive heat warnings, especially across Southern California, into portions of Southern Nevada and Western Arizona, where we could be expecting some extreme triple-digit heat and possibly some record high temperatures across these areas as we head through the next couple of days. We also do have these green shaded areas across southwestern and West Texas, across the Fort Stockton area, getting down toward the Mexican border there. That is actually a flood watch for the potential for some extreme flash flooding as we head through the next couple of days. So first, highlighting the heat across the western United States, we got that ridge starting to ramp up across the western United States from California all the way over toward the Rockies there toward Denver, and that will continue even as we head into tomorrow. We got this trough across the northeastern Pacific that will force this ridge to kind of remain locked in place across the western United States as we head into your Thursday and even your Friday. That will continue as we get toward the very end of this week into the early time frame into the weekend. Into your September 2nd and 3rd time frame here, with some extreme heat building across much of the Rockies and across the West Coast as we head into early this weekend. Looking at the temperatures here at the surface, due to this ridge, we got widespread 100 showing up across portions of Nevada, Southern California near the Death Valley area. There could be areas approaching 115 or hotter, potentially even some record high temperatures across Southern California and even Western Arizona as we head into this afternoon. We got some widespread upper 80s to lower 90s across portions of the Dakotas, all the way south into Nebraska, Kansas, and even Oklahoma. You can definitely tell where we have some rainfall across West Texas into southern and southeastern New Mexico there, where temperatures will rise into the upper 70s to right around 80 this afternoon. Some rain, cool air there, and also some cooler temperatures with an influence of that trough across eastern Canada, across the upper Great Lakes, the northwoods of Wisconsin, all the way over toward New England as we head into this afternoon. As we move into Thursday, some of this heat across the west will expand a little farther to the east towards portions of the western Dakotas, eastern Montana. Some of these areas will be into the middle and upper 90s, maybe touching near 100 in a couple of these areas like Billings, Montana, maybe getting over toward the Rapid City, South Dakota area. But again, across portions of New England, some cooler temperatures. Some of these areas in Vermont, upstate New York, northern portions of New Hampshire, northern Maine, we could be sticking around here in the upper 60s to lower 70s with some of that cooler air with that trough across eastern Canada. More records possible across the desert Southwest as we head into Thursday, and again on Friday, widespread 100s, even 110s down into Southern California and western portions of Arizona, Southern Nevada toward Las Vegas as we head into your Friday, September 2nd. So looking at the precipitation chances out there the next few days, we got this kind of stationary boundary with a cold front across the Gulf Coast into Florida, all the way back into Texas and New Mexico here, bringing these precipitation chances this afternoon with some, numerous thunderstorm potential there, and that will continue as we head here into the next few days. But we do have a severe weather potential I do want to outline here first. We do have a marginal risk from the Storm Prediction Center highlighted here across northeastern Colorado, central and western portions of Nebraska, and northwestern Kansas. Some of these thunderstorms could be producing some 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail, and maybe, just maybe, a weak tornado. That will be something to watch in a couple areas up here in upstate New York and eastern Maine, up toward Caribou, Maine, and they're up toward portions, like I said, of upstate New York for a couple of isolated stronger storms with some lower end potential for severe weather. But as we head here into your Thursday time frame, again, some showers and storms will be sticking around with that stationary boundary across Texas, the Gulf Coast, and into Florida during that time frame tomorrow. And even as we head into the early portion of the weekend, into your Friday and Saturday time frame, that stationary boundary will remain locked in place right along the immediate Gulf Coast region from south central Texas all the way over toward Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and North Florida, bringing some heavy rainfall across some of these areas repeatedly as we head through the next few days. Looking here at the next 5 days or so from now all the way through your Monday morning on September 5th, widespread heavy rainfall, especially across southern Texas, places like Brownsville, Texas, Corpus Christi, getting up there towards Houston. We could be talking about some widespread rainfall totals of 2 to 5 inches or more of rainfall over the next 5 days. Even as you get up there into North Texas toward Dallas, Fort Worth, the Austin area, getting maybe up towards as far north as Wichita Falls, we still could be talking about some rainfall amounts of 1 inch to 2 inches there as well over the next 5 days. And even as we move over here towards the immediate Gulf Coast here toward New Orleans, toward Mobile, Alabama, towards North Florida, we could be talking about still some widespread 1 to 3 inch rainfall amounts there over the next 5 days as well. But you do notice, again, with that heat building across the western United States, there is an absence of precipitation, and that will continue underneath that ridge with the influence of that ridging and that heat across the west. Not really expecting too much in the way of rainfall across these areas over the next 5 days. Looking here at the precipitation and how much rainfall that we could see in a short amount of time, there's no surprise that the Weather Prediction Center has hoisted a moderate risk for excessive rainfall and numerous flash flooding areas that we could be seeing develop across West Texas and across Central Texas as we head here into this afternoon. I'm definitely concerned if you guys live down near the Fort Stockton area there in Texas. We could be talking about some numerous flash flooding conditions as we head towards later on today. Even a marginal risk for excessive rainfall across the northern Florida peninsula, getting into coastal Georgia and coastal South Carolina there as well, up toward Myrtle Beach and Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, some of these areas, Jacksonville Beach, could be seeing some heavier rainfall there as well. But as we head into tomorrow, again, we have widespread rainfall potential. As we head into your Thursday and Friday, another moderate risk for excessive rainfall there across West Texas, even up there toward Dallas, Fort Worth, a slight risk for excessive rainfall there. And even as we head into your Friday and Saturday timeframe, right along the immediate Gulf Coast, all the way back to West Texas, some marginal to even slight risk for excessive rainfall during that time as well. And looking here as we get into that first, full week of September and a little bit beyond, all the way through September 9th, we'll have widespread precipitation chances across Texas, getting back maybe into southern Arizona at times, but across the immediate Gulf Coast up toward the Tennessee Valley, above average precipitation is favored, especially during the September 5th through September 9th timeframe. And you can clearly see across the Pacific Northwest, the North Central Plains, the Upper Midwest, and the Great Lakes region will be likely below normal precipitation during this timeframe. We still likely will see a couple chances of precipitation across some of the Upper Midwest and the Great Lakes during this timeframe, but likely below normal precipitation is largely favored across these areas with the absence of heavy rain events during this period. And that's some good news, however, for Texas, for portions there of southern Oklahoma and portions of New Mexico, where we do have that ongoing, severe, extreme, and even exceptional drought across many of these areas. So I do expect this drought to actually start to improve a little bit more as we go through the next 5 days or so. So that is some good news. We just don't need all the rainfall at once. So that is something we'll definitely be keeping an eye on. But as we get towards the following week and then potentially toward the following weekend, I'm already keeping an eye on kind of another active weather pattern setting up across the upper Midwest and the northern plains. Some of the models are starting to trend towards another strong trough, digging down into the northern United States and into southern Canada as we move in towards Friday, September 9th timeframe. Again, we have plenty of time to hash this out, but I did want to, bring this about that, there could be another stronger storm system developing across this time frame here. Not this weekend, but next weekend here on the European forecast model. And remarkably, the GFS model is showing this trough as well, pretty much in the same location. So we'll continue to watch this as we head through the next few days and the next several days ahead to kind of fine-tune this forecast. There does remain the potential for another severe weather threat across the upper Midwest, northern plains, and Great Lakes if this trough does come to fruition as we head into that second week into September. So that will be something to watch. But turning your attention to the tropics, very active tropics, guys. It's getting very active right now. It's just a matter of time before we start seeing tropical storms and hurricanes here across the Atlantic and the Eastern Pacific here. It's a waiting game right now, but we're definitely seeing things start to heat up very quickly. We got an 80% chance of development in the next 2 to 5 days across portions of the Eastern Caribbean and the southwestern Atlantic coast here. That we're talking about portions of the Lesser Antilles, and just to the northeast here of the Lesser Antilles, we could have a more robust system develop into a tropical storm, potentially even a hurricane as we head through the next several days. We're watching that. We're watching an area here into the north central Pacific, kind of a smaller system that could bring a tropical depression impacts just pretty much over the open waters of the north central Atlantic there. And then across the portions there of the African coast moving westward, another system right on its heels could be developing in the next 2 to 5 days as well, with another medium chance of becoming a tropical depression or tropical storm as well during that time frame. So looking at this here, the satellite imagery, we got a lot of going on here. So let's kind of break this down for you. We got this first system here moving across the portions of the central and western Caribbean, mainly just a heavy rain event there. We got this another system that has that 80% chance of development into a tropical storm or even a hurricane potentially in the next several days, just to the east of the Lesser Antilles, and that will be pushing to the northeast of the islands here. As we head through the next few days, we got that smaller system starting to gather and gain strength a little bit here, potentially, strengthening into a tropical depression, tropical storm status here into the north central Atlantic over the open waters, and a more robust wave here moving off of the western African coast here into the open waters of the eastern Atlantic Ocean. With that could be, become a tropical storm or hurricane potentially as well as we head through the next several days. So lots of different areas to watch here, guys. So definitely we'll keep an eye on it. Looking here at the icon model, definitely capturing this weather pattern very well across the tropics here. We got a 1007 millibar low here, we got a 1006 millibar low here, and again, it's a parade of systems that will move across this area. And again, we're watching this one here just to the north and east of the Lesser Antilles or the Windward Islands as we head toward that Friday, September 2nd time frame. Looks like it will quickly become a tropical depression as we head towards Friday, September 2nd, and then potentially even a strong tropical storm or a hurricane here at the very least as we get towards the end of the weekend, towards September 4th on your Sunday. So we'll continue to watch that. That could just go north of the islands here. We'll have to watch this into the Bahamas, and the eastern Bahamas. We'll have to watch that as well. And then that system coming off African coast could develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm as well. And then the other system across the north central Atlantic as well as we get toward late in the weekend. And even as we get here in towards, that's, like I said, that Sunday time frame here, the 4th, again, looking at the European forecast model, it is a little bit weaker with that system here, just remaining at tropical depression status north of the Greater Antilles during that Sunday time frame. Then the GFS showing a pretty strong hurricane, potentially a category 1 or 2 hurricane here just to the north of these areas. So there are intensity differences here within the models with some of these systems, but there is a lot of agreement on the placement of these systems for the most part as we head through the next several days. And there's no surprise that these systems could gain strength because we do have the warmer waters in the Gulf, the Caribbean, and much of the west central Atlantic here, well above average here with the sea surface temperatures out there. So definitely any of these systems that could tap into that could definitely talk about some strengthening into tropical storms and hurricanes as well. Maybe even major hurricanes. That is definitely not out of the realm of possibility across some of these areas. But then again, it's very active across the Eastern Pacific Basin. We got 2 separate areas the National Hurricane Center is watching. One area has a 70% chance of development within the next 5 days or so. That will be just to the west of the Mexico coast here and just south of the Baja of California. This will get pretty close to the Baja of California, but I think remain just off to the west. Another system could develop right near or just along the Mexican coast here in the next 5 to 10 days, and that could be something to watch as well. That one could be more concerning as it does look like it'll go a little bit closer to the coast here toward Cancun and maybe up toward the Baja of California with time as well. So looking at the first one here, first things first, we got kind of some loosely organized convection, some thunderstorm activity across the Eastern Pacific Basin, trying to organize here. It will in the next few days. We got another wave coming across the Central Americas that will move up near the coast there of Mexico. That will be the system number 2 that we are watching. Looking first here again at the first system, that is a 1009 millibar low here as we head to later on this afternoon. That will strengthen likely to a tropical depression, if not a weak tropical storm as we head toward the end of the week here on your Friday, and then kind of remain at tropical storm or tropical depression status. I don't really expect too much with the first system, but the second system is really starting to catch my eye as we get toward late in the weekend on September 4th. The icon model is capturing a potentially strengthening tropical storm or hurricane just off the coast of Mexico here on on your Sunday, September 4th, and actually strengthens it here to a very strong, potentially major hurricane status, a Cat 3 or 4, potentially on the icon model as we get towards that following week. So that will be something to watch here very closely, especially since it could get very close to Mexico and also the Baja of California here as well. So that will be something to watch as we get towards that first full week in September. Meanwhile, the European forecast model not as intense, but still maintaining at least a tropical storm type of low pressure center with a 998 millibar low here right along the coast and just south of the Baja of California there during that same time frame. And remarkably, the GFS actually showing a pretty robust hurricane as well with a 966 millibar low right along the Mexican coast near Cancun. So that will be something to watch as we head towards the following week there, and that will be something we'll watch. That could be a major hurricane that we'll be watching very close to land. So if you live in western Mexico along the coast there near Cancun, all the way up to the Baja of California, and even potentially the western United States with some of the moisture with the system, we definitely have to watch this as we move into that first full week in September. And again, looking at the Atlantic season here for the hurricane and tropical storm activity, you can see we're really climbing that ladder now. We're getting toward the peak of the hurricane season in the next week or two, and then we'll start to kind of climb and kind of descend downwards on the tropical storm status here and hurricane status with that hurricane season slowly winding down toward the late fall. But we got lots of time left here in the Atlantic. We're still toward the peak here. We're very close to the peak in the Eastern Pacific Basin here right now, and it looks like it could pan out that way with a major hurricane potentially on the way as we head into that following week. We'll continue to keep tabs on that here if you live in Mexico or near the Baja of California there as well. We'll keep tabs on that as we get here a little bit closer. But looking here back at the Atlantic during September, the named storms, a lot of these storms look to take that same path potentially toward the Bahamas and then kind of curl up the East Coast or just off in the open waters near Bermuda. So that will be something to watch in the Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf. And no surprise that the Eastern Pacific Basin, pretty much the same zone there of where we expect it climatologically across these areas where those systems do look to form as we head into early September as well. So it comes as no surprise. It's getting very active out there, guys. You guys can always stay up to date with the weather forecast here on Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. And I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to like it down below by giving it a thumbs up. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. And remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, all the new subscribers out there. Definitely appreciate it here, helping to grow the channel very much so. So thank you guys so much. Have a great Wednesday out there, and I'll see you all in the next video.